Hello, and welcome to James the Lesser Express Lane, where we get you in and out as fast as possible, bringing you discussion and review of Independence Day, best sci-fi movie or best movie. Movie came out in 1996, summer blockbuster, made all the money, had some great visual effects, great acting, great storytelling. It was just amazing. Especially for a movie a lot of people call the most expensive B movie of all time. We'll get to that. Unfortunately, people who love to nitpicked this movie to death. But a lot of stuff can be hand waved away with one explanation. I don't know about you, but my kind, I mean aliens, did not invade Earth in 1996, did they? No. Because obviously, this movie takes place in an alternate timeline. So you get the USSR Central News or the city of Bombay instead of Mumbai, the Straits of whatever that don't exist. That's all explained away. They don't exist in our timeline, but they do in that timeline. The Russian Federation fell in 1923 and was replaced by this. And yeah, they got the Russian Federation in this movie. Well, obviously in that timeline, the Russian Federation didn't fall. So the what is it, Russian Republic, and then all this other stuff, like none of that happens in that timeline. Ta-da! Or the Houston scene with the nuke, and oh, they got this exit for South Houston right next to an exit for Houston University, but they're nowhere near each other. In our timeline, they're not. Their timeline, maybe Houston University was built on the south side of the city. Or in this shot, they show the Marines using X-Jet, but they actually used Y-Jet. Yes, in our world, that is true. In theirs, maybe not. Again, we weren't invaded by my kind, I mean, aliens 1996, so that's clearly not our timeline. And yes, a lot of people do call it the most expensive B movie at $75 million. They made over $500 million and was top movie in 1996. Mind you, that is $500 million 1996 money. Nowadays, if Avengers movie came out and made $500 million, it would be a flop. But back then, over $500 million, that was huge. And it won several awards for visuals, which you don't really see B movies winning, do you? Just saying. It is also credited as the film with the most miniatures, a record likely never be broken due to CGI being so prevalent today. They just dump CGI stuff instead of using miniatures. There's so much to talk about, but where does one start? It helped propel Will Smith into stardom for one thing. Bad Boys was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the summer blockbuster that Independence Day was. It's also the second movie that Vivica A. Fox appears in as well, after, Don't Be a Menace on the south side of South Beach, whatever. It was a really long title. While your mom's drinking juice or something. Again, really long title. Before that, she did a lot of TV and music videos, including one with Tupac. And also, her scene in this movie is fantastic. She is hilarious. When he's alright, well, I gotta go back to El Toro. You're supposed to be on leave. Well, there's nothing to do about it. I gotta go. Why are you so worried? Why am I worried? That's why! Points out the giant fucking alien spaceship in the sky. Gee, I wonder why she'd be worried, Will Smith. That's why. There's a lot of people in this movie. I was like, nowadays, Will Smith's a household name, but back then, he was still on the up and coming. He wasn't, we need to put a star in this movie. Will Smith. What about, no, we want Will Smith. He wasn't that guy yet. We got Bill Pullman, who plays the president, Randy Quaid, who plays a side character, who was a former Vietnam pilot, crop duster, bit of an alcoholic, after being abducted by aliens, which people still give him shit for. It's like, we're being invaded by aliens. Aliens are attacking the planet, and you're still going to give him shit for, guys, I was abducted by aliens. They've been studying us for years. We got to fight them before they destroy us all. Whatever you say, town drunk. Bitch, aliens are invading. He might be telling the truth. Of course, Jeff Goldblum, sexy beast that he is, plays the guy who works at a cable company. I'll get back to that. We have Mary McDonnell, who also starred in Battlestar Galactica. Harry Connick Jr. You might have heard of him before. Does music just here and there. Robert Loggia, uh, Judd Hirsch. There's a lot of names in this. I really like Loggia, Robert Loggia, because he's not a sci-fi guy. And this is his first sci-fi appearance, and he plays a general, and he plays it very serious. Like he said, he based his character off of S. Patton. It's like, yeah, you can definitely see that. But he's one of the serious, like, stones in the movie that helps cement the movie into the real world. Now, if I'm a general, what the fuck am I doing if I see aliens show up? He does that very well in this movie. And while I address a lot of the issues people have with part one of it's an alternate timeline, so Bombay doesn't exist anymore. It was Mumbai in 1992. Well, in this timeline, it didn't change. So forth. There's one issue just about everyone had, including myself, until I got the DVD that had the deleted scenes, and you see the deleted scene. This may, in fact, be the #1 worst cut I've ever seen in movies. Like, if you leave this movie in, 90% of issues go away. What is it? Herder, how did Jeff Goldblum's character upload a virus using a Mac to the aliens? It makes no sense. But in the deleted scene, they show we are not hooking up our computer to theirs, but their computer to them. Because our computers came from them. Like, our technology all came off the ship that crash landed in Roswell. And guess what? Their computers used binary. Our computers use binary. And if they use binary, that's a lot simpler to make a virus for a computer, even if it's an alien computer, because it's literally the exact same system that we were using. Because we were using their system. We were not trying to hook up a Mac to Abacus in 1604 BC. No. We're hooking up Mac to another Mac. It just happens to be on an alien spaceship. But it was still using zeros and ones. And since they used zeros and ones, and we were using 0 and 1s, that's what made it possible. And of course, he didn't actually have to make a virus that went very specifically target the shields and turn them off. He could have just made a virus that just went haywire. Just start attacking and deleting things and hope that it deleted the shields. Or, what's it called? Like, not a DDoS attack. Where it just, like, attacks certain files until the computer crashes because it's trying to deal with that. Open. We already have 10,000 things open. And it's opening another 10,000 every millisecond just until the whole system crashes. Was it the virus they used? Don't know. They don't really explain that part, but #1 issue is explained away with a deleted scene. They keep that deleted scene in. Ta-da! The biggest issue the movie has is them uploading a computer virus from Mac to the alien. Like, no. We're uploading a virus from a binary computer to another binary computer. Also, Area 51 had the ship for decades. And Jeff Goldblum kind of became the focal point because he figured out the message going through the satellites. Speaking of Jeff Goldblum's character, he went to MIT for 8 years. He discovered the code in the satellite, made the virus that uploaded it, and took out the shields. But his dad and his ex-wife were like, oh, but you just want to be a cable repair guy. No. What they don't show, or say in the movie, is he was not the guy going to your house 3 hours after you were supposed to be there to fix your cable box. He was the head honcho of, like, the tech behind the cable company. When you had an issue with your cable, they sent someone out. When the company itself had an issue, they got a hold of him. Like, hey, our main server in Denver shut down and all the guys there can't fix it. What do we do? All right, well, here's what you do. Because I'm the one person in the company smart enough to think, if you tried all the stuff you're supposed to do, try this, and then this, and then this. Like, he was the head honcho of that. It'd be like making fun of someone working at Amazon. You make sure to get all the pee in the bottle. Don't want to slip on the floor. When they're actually the head of logistics and in charge of every warehouse in the country. Make sure that, the trucks get to where they're supposed to go as efficiently as possible. Yes, he works at Amazon, but he's not the guy on the line pissing in a bottle because he's not allowed to take a break. He's the head honcho of logistics to make sure the trucks get to where they're supposed to go. Same with Jeff Goldblum's character. He was not the guy repairing your cable box. He was the guy that making sure the company worked, that their technology worked. Another issue people have with the movie is logistics. To get city-sized ships that close would cause massive earthquakes. The ship that's a quarter mass of the moon, between the moon and the Earth, more earthquakes, tidal issues. They wouldn't need to blast the cities to destroy the planet. They could just, float around and just rip the planet apart. And at the end, with the explosion of the mothership, that was not supposed to happen. All they had to do was add a line between Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum going, like, Will Smith looks at Jeff, that's not supposed to happen, is it? Jeff looks at him, no, we must have had a chain reactor with their power, and then the wave hits him. Like, cutting him off before he can explain, so, had a chain reactor with the power source calls him, it's like, you didn't have to explain that, just, Will Smith look at him, that's not supposed to happen, is it? No, we must have caused a chain reaction with, and then they get by the explosion wave. That's all they needed to explain that explosion. Because remember, this thing is the quarter size of the moon. Not even a Tsar Bomba would be that big of an explosion. That's why they were supposed to go up, upload the virus, knock out the shields for however many minutes, launch a nuke to disorient the mothership. Because we gotta remember, what does a nuke do? Blows up a city. Well, this mothership has multiple city-sized ships inside of it. So a nuke would blow up a city-sized ship, not make that huge explosion. And they weren't planning for that. They were planning to upload the virus, knock out the shields, launch a nuke to try to disorient the ship long enough that maybe we can take out all their attacker ships. But then that explosion happened. And since that explosion happened, all powers cut out to the other ships. So the city destroyers and the attackers all lost power. Which means the virus is absolutely fucking pointless. They could have flown up in the alien attacker ship from Area 51, launched a nuke, blew up the mothership, and just watches all the city destroyers fall to the ground as they lose power. But all you had to do was have two lines. That wasn't supposed to happen, was it? No, we must have caused a chain reaction with, and then they hit by the wave, cutting them off. Without those lines, you literally just get, what was the fucking point of the virus if they could have just blown up the ship like that? But literally, a Tsar Bomba wasn't that powerful enough to blow up something that big. They just weren't expecting it. Damn it, now I'm the one picking the movie apart, but I love it. Of course, there was 32 city-sized ships. Pretty sure the Avengers had a little movie called Age of Ultron about how dropping one city on the planet would be enough. So dropping 32 city-sized ships, plus the debris from the mothership falling into orbit and crashing all over Earth. Endor Apocalypse, anyone? Those who don't know, Endor Apocalypse would explain that the Death Star exploding and crashing into the moon of Endor would have killed everyone on it. There'd be no dancing teddy bears. They'd all be dead. And something the novelizations had that I can understand why they didn't have in the movie, because holy shit, it's really fucking dark. But they explained that during the final attack at Area 51, they had plenty of jets, not enough pilots. That's what's explained in the movie. What they don't explain in the movie is they also don't have enough missiles. Which means they took former military pilots like Russell Case or the president, put them into one group. The people who were like, oh, I'm a pilot, I'm a commercial airline pilot. Alright, great, you have no military training. You go into that group. The group without military training, we're told that, hey, you're not going to be given missiles because we literally don't have enough. You're going to be decoys. You're going to fly up and distract the aliens, become targets. That means dozens of men and women agreed to become decoys. They were told, we don't have enough missiles. You won't have any. You're going to fly up, become targets, so those with military training can try and destroy the aliens. And again, dozens volunteered for this. course, with the destruction of the mothership, it was all for nothing, as it turned off all power to other ships. But again, they didn't know that would happen. Now going on to like the smaller scenes that I really enjoyed. When the aliens are going to attack Area 51, Margaret Collins' character asks Adam Baldwin's character about the attack. Oh, don't worry, we're deep underground, we'll be fine. Well, she responds with, what about the civilians? He just stares at her. Why? This is Area 51. There are no civilians at Area 51. What the fuck are you talking about? He's worked there for however long, and there's only military and government scientists. So he didn't think that, oh, maybe we should get the civilians inside, because for however long he's been there, there's no such thing as a civilian at Area 51. I thought that was a great, tiny little detail like that. It was just fantastic. Of the guy who's worked there for however many years going, what the fuck are you talking about, civilians? Then like, oh, duh, right, civilians. We have them right now. And just like small stuff here and there in the movie is what makes, in my opinion, the movie so good. Is that was something they didn't have to spell out. That didn't require another line. That required a line of her going, what about the civilians? Him just staring at her like, what are you talking about? And it's like, oh, ding, ding, ding. For the first time in ever, there's civilians at Area 51. President Whitmore, played by Bill Pullman, blames himself for not evacuating earlier. He's like, man, we could have evacuated millions more people from the cities. We could have planned for it better. We could have been out of there. My wife could have been out of LA faster. This is all my fault. Why didn't I do something sooner? But something the movie never touches on is Margaret Callan character, the ex-wife of Jeff Goldblum. She's at fault. Jeff Goldblum's character calls her, says, hey, here's what's going on. It's a countdown. Once it reaches 0, they attack. Whatever. You're just being paranoid. Hangs up on him. Now imagine she listens, understands, and notifies the president. They could have started evacuation hours earlier. But it's never brought up in the movie. A small misstep, in my opinion. They could have had even just one scene of her saying, like, oh god, the president blames himself for this, but I didn't listen to you earlier. If I had listened to you and told him, who knows how many people we could have saved. It's okay, you couldn't have known that it was going to be this serious. I didn't know it was going to be this serious. I didn't realize they had no city-destroying weapons like that. Just something small like that, I think, would have been nice to see, but, what you get, right? Speaking of President Whitmore, he was a fighter pilot during Desert Storm, so with so few military pilots left, he joins the fight at the end. They call his jet Eagle 1, but it should be Air Force 1. Why? Any plane the president is on is Air Force 1. Just like all helicopters are Marine 1 if the president is on it. He has a heart attack and they have to life flight him to a hospital. That life flight helicopter is now Marine 1 because he's on it. But I guess they wanted it to feel more like he's a fighter pilot, not the president going into battle. But still, it should have been Air Force 1 because he's the president. Any plane he's on is Air Force 1. Or they could have been like, hey, since I'm going into battle and I'm currently the president and the vice president and a bunch of other people are dead, hey, General Gray, you're now the vice president. If I die, you become president. You know what? Fuck that. You're now acting president because they've done that before where like, oh, the president's going under surgery. He'll be, under anesthesia for 6 hours. Power is temporarily transferred to the vice president for those 6 hours. Like, it's happened with Dick Cheney. It happened recently with Kamala Harris, where they are technically president for those few hours. So they could have had a saying like, hey, I'm going to battle. I literally cannot be president while going to battle. You are now president until I get back. Ta-da! Now it's Eagle 1 instead of Air Force 1. I'm going way too in detail on this, but I love this movie. It is so good. Then more military stuff that I just now recently learned. The president and the general salute Will Smith's character first at the end of the movie. They drive up and he's walking with Jeff Goldblum. They come up, they salute him first. That is not what is done in real life. Except for a Medal of Honor winner. Our sergeant wins a Medal of Honor. 5-star general salutes him first. Of course, Will hadn't actually won a medal yet, but his actions of blowing up the mothership was probably agreed beforehand he'd get one. and thus saluting him first comes into play. So even though, well, we don't have any to give you because, that place that makes them was blown to smithereens, but just know, when you get back, you will be getting a Medal of Honor. Now, that's probably something they didn't need to have in the movie, because how many people are going to know that the general or the president do not salute first? The soldier, the airman, the navyman, whatever, they salute first. Unless they're Medal of Honor winner. That's probably going into a little bit too much detail that people didn't need to know. So I can understand why they just left that out. Yeah, the storytelling, the acting, the comedy, the action is all fantastic. If you haven't watched the movie, do so. It's currently on HBO Max, and you can probably get the DVD or Blu-ray for super cheap off of Amazon. It's an American classic, and maybe the best sci-fi, if not the best movie ever, in my opinion, of course. I may like it, well, second best movie behind Jurassic Park. Don't get me wrong, no, Stalag 17 is still a fantastic movie. There's been so many great movies out. And it's like, well, this one has better lighting, this one has better choreography, this one has better this. Like, how do you judge it? How do you judge what is the best movie of all time? Not just the critics. Oh, I can't hear the movie. Why? Because the critics are too busy pumping the lotion and something jerk off more to, oh, the lighting in this scene. Oh, the lighting. Like, great. The lighting in that one scene was fantastic. What about the movie? Oh, the movie's boring as shit. You'll fall asleep during it. But the lighting in this one scene, I need to pump more lotion in my hands so I can jerk off faster to this lighting. Terrible. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. But yes, go see this movie. You have to go see it if you haven't already. If you haven't already, why not? Do you not love America? Of course, a lot of you might not be American, but that's besides the point. Thank you for watching. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have one hell of a day.